Good day, everyone. I am Carla May Damasco Blanquera, the group leader of Tribe 3 GASPARD. So we are here today to discuss you about statistic. In statistic, we have three subtopics, which are the measure of central tendency, the measure of dispersion, and last, the measure of relative position. So let's start about introduction. In any research activity, be it quantitative or qualitative, a conclusion has to be made. In the process of reaching it, pertinent data or information has to be gathered and a plan should be conceived as its blueprint. Included in this plan, which intends to give meaning to the data, are the statistical methods to be utilized in the research activity. Statistics. Statistics is the art and science of collecting, presenting, analyzing, and interpreting data. This data may be in sports, business, politics, education, and practically all fields of human endeavor dealing with statistics. The use and importance of statistics. Statistics may also be considered a measure or estimate of the characteristic of the population parameters. It may also be considered as a method on how vast data is organized and presented on a comprehensive manner. A brief history of statistics. Statistics has been used by the ancient chef in counting the number of effective warriors to defeat the enemy, since wars before were won by the number of trained warriors. The ruler also figure out how much taxes will be collected to maintain their kingdom. These statistics were purely descriptive in nature. In 1730s, de Morville developed the equation for the normal curve in mathematics, applied probability principles to astronomy. Francis Galton had the greatest effect upon the introduction and use of statistics in the social science. James McCutcheon is a famous American psychologist who studied in Europe in 1880 and contacted Galton and other Europeans in 1880. Type of measurements. The data can be classified into two types. These are the continuous and discontinuous or discrete data. Continuous. Continuous data are measures like feet, pounds, kilos, minutes, and meters. This kind of data can be made into measurements of varying degrees of precision. For example, 1 yard equals 3 feet, 1 foot equals 12 inches. Discontinuous. Discontinuous or discrete data are measurements expressed in whole units. Counting of people, number of objects, number of cars passing by, number of houses, number of students, workers, and so on. Measurements of scales. According to Stephen, there are four types of scales that are used in sciences. There are the nominal, ordinal, interval, and ratio. Nominal scales are used as measures of identity. Example of these are classification of individuals into categories like gender, male and female, yes and no answers, in religion for instance Muslims and Christians. Ordinal scales is used in measurement like ranking of individuals or objects. Ordinal measures reveal which person or object is larger or small, harder, or softer. Responses like strongly agree, agree, no opinion, disagree, and strongly disagree. Interval scales are numbers that reflect difference among items. Example, are scores and a test, grades of students, ages, blood pressures, Fahrenheit and Celsius thermometers. Ratio scales is the highest type of scales. The basic difference between the interval and ratio scales is the ratio scales are the measure of length, weight, loudness, width, and so on. Key terms and their definitions. Analysis. Analysis is the manipulation of the data gathered as descriptive and inferential statistics. Cumulative frequency. Cumulative frequency is used in getting the value for the med, quartiles, deciles, and percentiles. Data. Data point to statistical facts, principles, opinions, and vary items of different sources. Data collection. Data collection is the process and methods of gather information by interview, questionnaires, experiments, observal, and documentary analysis. Data presentation. Data presentation takes the form and graphs. Descriptive statistics. Descriptive statistics includes frequency, distribution, measure central tendency, measure of central location, measure dispersion or variation, graphs, skewness, and kurtosis. Like it refers to some techniques which are concerned with presentation and collection of data or information. Frequency distribution. Frequency distribution is the tabulation of data of measures group with class interval. Graphical presentation. Graphical presentation points to the construction of bar graph, frequency polygons, pie charts, and pictographs, among others. Group data. Group data are properly organized and classified data such as the use of frequency distribution. The next one is about the nature of mathematics. Statistical investigation can be classified into two major functions. The first one is descriptive statistics. Descriptive statistics is the method of collecting and presenting data. It includes the computation of measure of central tendency, measure of central locations, likewise the measure of dispersion or variability. The second one is inferential statistics. Inferential statistics is concerned with higher degree of critical judgment and advanced mathematical mood, such as using the different statistical tools, both the parametric and non-parametric tests. Inferential statistics is the technique by which decision and conclusion are to be made from the population observed using only the representative samples. These statistics includes both parametric and non-parametric tests which are more concerned with generalizing information or making inference about the population through representative samples. Interpretation makes clear results of the analysis using statistical methods to see whether significant difference or relationship exists between variables. Parameter is a characteristic of a population. Population is the totality of all the actual observable characteristics of a set of objects or individual. Random sampling. Random sampling involves the selection of samples such that each sample of a given size has precisely the probability of being selected. It includes the sample random, stratified, cluster, and multi-stage sampling techniques. Sample refers to the elements of objects or individual selected from the population. Schedule is the extensive of set of questions and instruction used in personal interview. The next one is statistical symbols. The student in statistics should familiarize the use of the following symbols, although notational usage varies from one author to another, but there are some of the common symbols used in statistics. Sigma. Capital letter sigma denotes summation of the sum of values. Small letter f denotes frequencies. Capital letter F denotes cumulative frequencies. Small letter n denotes sample size. Small letter I denotes interval. Capital letter N denotes population size. Capital letter X denotes independent variable. Capital letter Y denotes dependent variable. Sub X bar denotes mean of the sample. Capital letter M denotes population mean. So now let's move on about our first subtopics about statistics is measure of central tendency. Measure of central tendency. Any measure indicating the center of a set data arranged in an increasing or decreasing magnitude is called of central tendency. The most commonly used measure of central tendency are the mean, the median, and the mode. So the next one is the mean. The mean is the average or norm. Add up all of values to find a total. Divide the total by number of values you added together. So, nakikita nyo yung example is 2 plus 2 plus 5 plus 6 plus 7 plus 8 equals 30. So, yung 30, the total value is 30. I-divide natin sa 6. Yung 6 na yon ay yun yung values, which are 2 plus 2 plus 5 plus 6 plus 7 plus 8. May 6 tayong values, kaya yun yung i-divide natin sa 30. So, 30 divided by 6 is equals 5. The mean is 5. So, very easy po siyang mahanap basta po maintindihan nyo yung process. So next we tackled about the arithmetic mean. So the arithmetic mean is the most commonly used and readily understood measure of central tendency in a dataset. In statistics, the term average refers to the measure of central tendency. The arithmetic mean of a set of observed data is defined as being equal to the sum of the numerical values of each and every observation, divided by the total number of observations. Symbolically, if we have a data set consisting of the values a sub 1, a sub 2, and so on, then the arithmetic mean A is defined by the formula. A is equals 1 over n. The summation of n over I equals 1 AI. Equals A sub 1 plus A sub 2 and so on divided by n. For an explanation of the summation operator, see summation. So here is the example that can you understand how to get the arithmetic mean. So the example is, consider the monthly salary of 10 employees of a firm. 2,500, 2,700, 2,400, 2,300, 2,550, 2,650, 2,750, 2,450, 2,600, and 2,400. So, to get the arithmetic mean, we need to add the all values and we need to divide it into 10. So, the addition of the monthly salary of 10 employee, 2,500 plus 2,700 plus 2,400 plus 2,300 plus 2,550 plus 2,650 plus 2,750 plus 2,450 plus 2,600 and plus 2,400 divided by 10. If nagtataka kayo kung saan galing yung 10 po na yun, ayun po yung values na tinatawag natin. Yun yung mga monthly salary ng 10 employees sa firm. So, the addition of 10 employees salary, the total is 25,300 divided by 10. So, the arithmetic equals 2,530. So, we consider that in a monthly salary of 10 employees with total amount of 2,530. So, now let's move on about population mean. Population mean is the set of data taken from the average of the population. It is the total population. Added together, then divided by the population size, the symbol is big letter N. The formula is U, that's mean the population mean, and the symbol is small letter m, equals the summation of the population over the population size. So, kung makikita nyo yung formula, ito po, yung parang letter U, kumbaga yung ibig sabihin niya is the small letter m equals, that means is population mean. The summation of x, ibig sabihin nun, sum of the population. Yung lahat ng values, pag inad mo, yun yung tinatawag na sum of the population. Yung n, population size. Iyon yung kung ilang yung values. Halimbawa, ilang grupo, mga 10 ngaya, ganyan. Kaya yun yung tinatawag na population size. So, here is the example. I will show you how to find the population mean. The number of faculty members in 10 different colleges are 16, 25, 40, 24, 15, 20, 50, 15, 35, and 20. Treating the data as a population. Find the population mean of the faculty members for the 10 colleges. Solution. So, x is 16 plus 25 plus 40 plus 24 plus 15 plus 20 plus 50 plus 16 plus 35 plus 20. The summation of population is equals 260. The population size is 10. So let's continue to find a population mean. Just like what I said, the summation of population is 260 and the sample size is 10. So now here is the formula is the summation of population mean equals the summation of population over the sample size. So 260 divided by 10, the population mean is equals to 26. The population mean of the 10 colleges is 26. So now let's tackle about sample mean. Sample mean is the set of data taken from the average or mean of the sample, added together, then divided by the sample and the sample size with the symbol of small letter n. So here is the formula. Sample mean equals the summation of sample observation over the sample size. So where the x sub bar equals sample mean, the sigma equals sum of the sample observation and equals the sample size. So here is the example to show you how to find the sample mean. The following are the ages of sample of 9 children in a slum area, which are 9, 8, 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 2. So let's find the sample mean. First, we add the Sample of observation. 9 plus 8 plus 1 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 7 plus 2. The summation of sample observation equals 45. The sample size is equals to 9. So the formula is sample mean equals the summation of sample observation divided by the sample size. So 45 divided by 9, the sample mean or the average is 5. So, para mahanap nyo yung mean, the arithmetic mean, the population mean, and the last one is the sample mean, pare-parehas lang po yung process nila para po mahanap sila. So, now we tackle about the mean for group data. Here is the example to show you about the sample mean, the mean for group data. A frequency distribution of the source in statistics 111 of 34 BSN students. So, X 35 to 39, 30 to 34, 25 to 29, 20 to 24, 15 to 19, 10 to 14, 5 to 9. So, sa 35 to 39, we have a frequency of 3. The deviation of positive 3. So, we need to product the frequency 3 and the deviation of positive 3 is equals to positive 9. 30 to 34, we have a frequency of 5. The deviation of positive 2 multiply the 5 to the deviation of positive 2 is equals to positive 10. 25 to 29, we have a frequency of 8 and deviation of positive 1 equals positive 8. 20 to 24, we have a frequency of 10. We have deviation of 0. 10 multiplied by 0 is 0. 15 to 19, we have frequency of 4. The deviation of negative 1, 4 multiplied by negative 1 equals negative 4. 10 to 14, we have a frequency of 2. The deviation of negative 2, 2 multiplied by negative 2 equals negative 4. 5 to 9, we have a frequency of 2. The deviation is negative 3. 2 multiplied by negative 3 is equals to negative 6. So, we need to add the frequency of the sample size of the sources in a statistic of 111 of 34 BSN students. So, 3 plus 5 plus 8 plus 10 plus 4 plus 2 plus 2, the sample size is equals to 34. So, we need to add the frequency plus by the product of deviation. Positive 9 plus positive 10 plus positive 8 equals to positive 27. So, negative 4 plus negative 4 plus negative 6 is equals to negative 14. So, the total of summation of frequencies and the product of deviation is equals to positive 13. Bakit naging positive 13? Kasi positive 27 minus negative 14 is equals to positive 13. Steps in getting the sample mean or average. First, select the assumed mean from any of the 7 steps distribution by adding the lower and upper limits and dividing their sum by 2. So the form example is AM. AM is means for assumed mean. So AM equals 20 plus 24 over 2 equals 44 divided by 2 equals 22. So the assumed mean is 22. Second, construct the third column. The deviation for positive and negative deviations. So, third, put 0 along column division where you select the assumed mean and +1, +2, +3, and so on above 0, and -1, -2, -3, and below 0. 4. Multiply the frequency and the deviation considering the signs and write it in column the product of frequency and deviation. Get the summation of frequency by the product of deviation algebraically. So the formula of sample mean for group data is the sample mean equals the assumed mean plus the summation of frequencies, the product of deviation over the sample size and multiply by interval. So where the x bar is equals to sample mean, AM equals assumed mean. The summation of the f and the product of deviation equals summation of the product of frequency and deviation. So n is sample size, I is interval. So here is the solution. Sample mean is equals to assumed mean plus the summation of product of the frequency and deviation over the sample size and multiply by the interval. So the assumed mean is 22 plus the summation of frequency and product of deviation is +13 divided by the sample size of 34 multiplied by 5. So the first we get the total of +13 over the 34 multiplied by 5 is equals to 22 plus 65 over 34. So 65 divided by 34 is equals to 1.91. So 22 plus 1.91, the sample mean is equals to 23.91. So if ever naman pong may tanong kayo, don't hesitate to ask me about this topic. So thank you for listening. That's end po.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon, classmates. The topic assigned to us is the weighted mean. What is the weighted mean? The weighted mean is a type of mean that is calculated by multiplying the weight or probability associated with a particular event or outcome with its associated quantitative outcome and then summing all the products together. It is very useful when calculating a theoretically expected outcome where each outcome has a different probability of occurring, which is the key feature that distinguishes the weighted mean from arithmetic mean. It is important to note that all the probabilities of weights must be mutually exclusive. Uses of weighted mean. Weighted means are useful in a wide variety of scenarios. For example, a student may use a weighted mean in order to calculate his or her percentage grade in a course. In such an example, the student would multiply the weighing of all assessment items in the course, sample, assignments, exams, projects, etc., by the respective that was obtained in each of the categories. Example number 1, makikita nyo dito sa table yung pangalan ni student A at yung final grade niya. Paano ba makukuha ang final grade na ito? Before we proceed to the solution of the example number 1, let us know first the formula for weighted mean. Mean is equals to the summation of values in sample times weight divided by the sum of weight, where x bars is equals to sample mean, W is equals to weight, sigma is equals to sum of or summation of x is equals to values in sample. Summation of values in sample times weight is the sum of the products formed by multiplying each number by its assigned weight. Summation of weight is the sum of all weights. This is the solution at example number 1. To get the solution, let us put first the formula. Weighted mean is equals to the sum of rate times weight divided by the sum of weight. Para mas maintindihan natin, papalitan natin to ng number. Sa first row, ang una nating gagawin, i-multiply ang weight sa grade. By the way, X is represent to grade, not to others. To get this answer, all we need to do is 10 times 80 plus 10 times 70 plus 30 times 80 plus 50 times 90 is equals to 8,400. To get the sum of weight, para makuha po natin ang 100, ang kailangan lang natin gawin, i-add ang nasa weight. 10 plus 10 plus 30 plus 50 is equals 100. Siya ang magiging divisor. 8,400 divided by 100 is equals to 84%. Ang 84%, siya na ang weighted mean ng student A. Siya yung final average ng student A. What if the weighted don't add to 1? For example, Alex usually eats lunch 7 times a week, but some weeks only gets 1, 2, or 5 lunches. Kadalasan daw kumakain si Alex 7 beses ng kanyang pananghalian sa loob ng isang linggo. Pero may mga linggo na kumakain lang siya 1, 2, or 5 beses ng pananghalian. For example, Alex had lunch on 2 weeks, only 1 lunch for the week. On 14 weeks, 2 lunches each week. 8 weeks, 5 lunches each week. On 32 weeks, 7 lunches each week. What is the mean number of lunches Alex has each week? To compute the weighted mean, let's use W for the number of weeks or the weight, X for lunches, or the value we want the mean of. All we need to do is multiply the number of weeks by the number for lunches and then sum up the number of weeks for lunches. Let's use weeks as the weighting mean. Weeks times lunches is equals to 2 times 1 plus 14 times 2 plus 8 times 5 plus 32 times 7 is equals to 294. Or we can also simplify it through adding the number of weeks for lunches. 2 plus 28 plus 40 plus 224 is equals to 294. And then, we need to add also the weeks. 2 plus 14 plus 8 plus 32 is equals to 56. Then, we can divide the total lunches by total weeks. Mean is equals to 294 divided by 56. The answer we get to the mean number of lunches Alex had in each week is 5.25.
So good afternoon. So this is the another example of weighted mean. Other way to find the weighted mean. So as you can see, hahanapin natin si general average from first to fourth grading. So sa mean score, meron tayong 86 sa first grading, sa second grading meron tayong 78, sa third meron tayong 82, and sa fourth naging 84, meron tayong 84. So wait, first to third grading meron tayong